Hello everyone and welcome to Loretta. So this is actually a game that I meant to play several weeks ago. I actually meant to play it before the whole Rizia DLC thing that was going on, as a kind of a just trying to carry me over into the Rizia DLC. I've been actually wanting to play it for quite some time, and I believe it recently just released onto consoles as well. It was on Steam before this. But I don't know a whole lot about this. I believe it's kind of point and clicky-ish, along with some other different features that's in there. And I believe you're supposed to be playing as a woman who is definitely going through some things. But we'll check that out in the main game. So let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Warning, a very small percentage of individuals may experience epileptic seizures when exposed to certain light patterns or flashing lights. Exposure to certain patterns or backgrounds on a computer screen or while playing video games may induce an epileptic seizure in these individuals. So, yeah, there's your warning for you right there. Oh, God. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. I was trying to make it work right for my controller. So here we are. Color mode or noir mode recommended for those who have already completed the game. Some visual hints disappear. Puzzles become harder to solve. Yeah, I'm just going to go with noir mode. The game's events take place in the United States of America in 1947. To reflect the reality of that time, Loretta contains subject matter that some may find offensive. Characters, due to their nature, age, and social status, use words, phrases, and profanities that are indicative of the time and do not correspond with modern attitudes. All events and characters depicted in the game are entirely fictitious. Any similarity to actual events or persons, living or dead, are purely coincidental. Think carefully before you begin this game and play responsibly. Oh, great. This should go quite well. I think it had whispered to him things about himself which he had not known, things of which he had no conception till he took counsel with this. Oh, okay. All right. 1947. Ah, it's like old school GTA. Created by Yakov Butazov. And Daria Vadiania. Loretta. My name's Loretta Lowe Harris. Friends call me Laura. I'm 38 years old. I was born in a small town in the South that y'all probably never heard of. The moment I turned 16, I ran away to the East Coast. I'm an unemployed ornithologist and a mediocre housewife. A few months ago, my husband and I moved to a farm that he got from his parents. Life here ain't exactly simple, but we get by all the same. Up until 2 weeks ago, anyway, when Walter up and disappeared without a trace. Miss Harris, I'm Frank Chambers. I'm looking for your husband. You from the police? Now, I already talked to the sheriff. I ain't got nothing more to say. No, ma'am. I'm leading a private investigation. There are some people from New York, important people, who'd really like to have a word with Mr. Harris. Oh, no. Don't tell me it's the mafia. Well, tell them to get in line. And who are these important people? Yeah, I'm curious. People who Mr. Harris still needs to pay. Mind if I come in? Yeah, actually. He wipes his neck with a handkerchief. You've got a, a very lovely house, ma'am. Don't bother. I can't stand this place either. Is this Mr. Harris's house? His parents. You're not from around here, are you? Or New York, for that matter. Don't test my hospitality. Sorry, didn't mean to offend. I'm paid to ask questions, you know. But my only concern is Mr. Harris. Mainly, I need to know if he's alive or dead. Okay. Walter's hat. He brought it in New York. Bought it in New York. Let's see, we got a clock. This thing gets on my nerves. Sometimes it feels like I can hear it ticking from all the way in the bedroom. Photo card. Walter and I by the ocean 8 years ago. Damn dusty roads. Ma'am, how long has Mr. Harris been gone for? You want something to drink? Must have been quite the journey getting down here, Mr. Chambers. Would you like something to drink? Honestly, I was hoping you'd ask. The kitchen's just down the hall. Sir, I believe you're fin to die. Scribbles. I done lost count of how many times I asked Walter to throw this nasty old thing away. You're not gonna answer that? Hello? Hello? Can I talk to Mr. Harris, please? Who's calling? This is Patrick Fitzgerald from the Atlantic Press Publishing House. Would you kindly put Mr. Harris on the phone? It's extremely urgent. Mr. Harris ain't available. He's ain't here. Well, what time will he be back, Miss? This is about his book. We're still waiting for him to send the second half. The contracts are ready, but... Miss, could you please pass... They hung up. It happens sometimes. Oh, okay. Afraid lemonade is all I can offer. Just water would be fine with me, ma'am. I'm a tad parched from that long drive. Sickle. You have no comments about that? Tell me, ma'am, your husband, did he happen to leave some kind of note? Maybe a letter? He didn't. At least I ain't found nothing if he did. Neither did the sheriff's men. Okay. Poison? There's a lot of weapons that's being pointed out to me. Sorry. There's a real nice almond smell in here. Okay. An April furniture catalog. It's got all a nuclear family could need. How are things with the novel? Did Mr. Harris finish it? Is Mr. Wallace interested in that too? No, ma'am. Just curious. Real pity that the true work of a detective isn't at all like the stuff your husband writes about. You know, in his hard-boiled detective stories. It's the laws of the genre, Mr. Chambers. Okay. This humidity is killing me. He wipes his face with a handkerchief. I don't think it's been this hot since the spring of '39. Where's that music coming from? The fields? Farmers? Walter rents out the land. Guess the music helps him pass the time. His eyes linger on Laura's hips. She pretends not to notice. Okay, the poison is coming up again. Hey, what the hell? Not so fast, bitch. Oh, okay. All right. Chambers shot me. He had no choice. Poisoning a man right before his very eyes wasn't the brightest idea I've ever had. Who would have thought that this is how my story ends? Oh, okay. Alrighty, so I'm gonna have to kill this man. Let's just go ahead and skip through all this, shall we, since we've already been through it. Okay, I'm back to this point again. I'm not gonna try to kill him just yet. Alright, quite the shame for a fine lady like yourself to be stuck out in a place like this. Here's your water. You're too kind. Thank you. He dries his lips on his sleeve. So how much land have you got here, ma'am? 60 or so acres. He whistles. Don't get too excited. It was mortgaged a long while back. May I take a look at the yard? Suit yourself. What in... It's the pipes. Son of a... Got some plumbing installed. And what do you know? Sorry. I need to go down into the basement. Need a hand? Nah. Don't need to trouble yourself. Besides, you wanted to look around the place, didn't you? Okay. It's damp and dark down in the basement. Too damp and too dark. Smells like mold. Just like Chambers' breath, actually. I can hardly find the water pipes. At first glance, everything seems to be in order. But there's a weird buzzing sound coming from them. Closer. Looks like something's stuck in one of them. Hard to say what exactly. Try to pull it out. I hold out my hand and touch something wet and hairy. I grabbed hold of it and tug. A dead rat. Could have been worse. Buzzing stopped. For now. Looks like Chambers went out to the yard. So... Okay, so you don't want to kill him now? Tell me, Miss Harris. Where do you think your husband might be? Got any ideas? He's in the well. Sure, let's go with that. He's in the well. Begging your pardon? Oh, okay. My name is Loretta Harris. Friends call me Laura. I'm an unemployed housewife, stuck in a hellhole, with nothing but sun and fucking wheat. 2 weeks ago, I killed my husband. Okay. All right, Loretta. Off to a great start. So, where to now? What in the blue hell is going on? This is apparently some sort of puzzle. Okay. A crow? I ain't trying to make excuses, but I think I ought to tell my story from the beginning. Yes, please do. But I ain't looking to be forgiven by the gentlemen of the jury. I know that's impossible now. But I want to give a chance to whoever's going to read this to maybe understand me. You see, my relationship with Walter started to fall apart long before the day he died. Long before we moved to this goddamn farm. I haven't liked it at the start. Trading the bustling city life for a humble one out in the country. Of course, wishful thinking's all it was. Women don't get much choice in this world. Take enough wrong turns, and before you know it, you're low class. And I was finally starting to see that all my turns were the wrong ones too. Okay. An old well. I don't know why, but it gives me the creeps. We never use it. Okay. I have clothespins. The metal coil inside is rusted. Okay. Another broken, creaky step. Nail sticking out, waiting for the right moment to finally jab into my leg. I asked Walter to fix it. Not that that did any good. Walter wasn't a bad person. He almost never drank. And even when he did, he never got violent. In all our years together, he only hit me that one time. And he felt awful about it afterwards. Still, everything about him was starting to irritate me. And I reckon the feeling was mutual. That irritation turned into a burning hatred that only got stronger after we moved out here. His snoring was like nails on a chalkboard. He'd spit everywhere like he was a damn camel. And food got stuck in his teeth all the time. But what really got under my skin was how he always reeked of onions all the damn time. It was this disgusting oily smell that soaked into all the furniture. But you want to know what the weird thing was? I ain't never used any onions in my cooking. Gosh, she hate everything about this person. It's like she's Kendrick Lamar and Drake. A bird? Scared? Shoo. Crap. Walter? A bird got into the house. Walter? No in hell he didn't hear me. Pay water bill. Sure, wash the dishes. We'll never run out of dirty dishes in this house. Ouch. Cut my finger. Ain't anything in the basement I need right now. I was trying to go into the basement. Okay, what the hell? Walt and I met toward the end of 1929. He was a little older than me. Mighty handsome, of course. He worked as a newspaper correspondent. But I couldn't tell you the name of what paper it was. They've probably quit publishing it now anyway. My mother died in 1930. Walter and I got married in 1931. I got pregnant in 1933. They called it an ectopic pregnancy, and that was followed by a miscarriage. I lost my child before I ever got to be a mother. Now, where'd it go? Hello? Who's calling? Are you gonna speak or what? You think this is funny? Okay. Cups, plates, glasses. Half of them are chipped. Sweep the kitchen floor. Honey, I'm going into the city, but I'll be back soon. I need to stop by the post office. What happened? First the bird flew in the dang house. Wait, what? A bird? It's a long story. Still, I'm sorry about the plate. Don't worry about it. Let's consider it good luck, eh? Anyway, would you mind ironing my suit? I think it's in the bedroom. Take the key. Uh, well, since she's irritated by everything about him, can't you do it yourself? I can never ask you to do anything. Fine, I'll do it myself. I'll iron your suit for crying out loud, but you could stand to help around the house from time to time. Whatever you say, Loretta. I'm off. Oh, these two are just peachy. Mm, a woman in a wheat field. Wheat, wheat, wheat. All we got is damn wheat. 151. Oh, okay. This is a puzzle. Walter doesn't like it when I enter the study when he ain't around. Enter anyway. Ugh. It reeks of cigarettes in here. Dusty bookshelves. Walter brought half his library when we moved here. I didn't even bring a winter coat. And I'm guessing there's a code for that. An old safe. Walter keeps the manuscript for his novel in there. Better not touch it. Unless I want Walter to start bitching anyway. Okay, so nothing for right now in here. A guest bedroom. As I understand it, Walter's parents slept in separate bedrooms. One of them harsh 1910 traditions. Walter and I turned this place upside down looking for the key, but no luck. Sure feels strange knowing I can't access certain parts of the house. Not like the house ain't big enough already. I want to beat that door down or something. Doesn't look like it would take much. I'll never like going outside to use. I never liked going outside to use the commode. Oh, I miss my old apartment. So they have an outhouse. Actually, my great grandmother, they had an outhouse at their house. I only went there a few times, but that was a long time ago. Tooth powder, shaving brush, and a little mustache comb. Walter sure loves taking care of his dumb mustache. Okay, so I guess it's this bedroom? Something went wrong in New York. I never found out what exactly. Walter fell into a pit of debt and dragged me down there with him. He left the obscenely high deposit we'd paid on our apartment, packed our bags, and rented the cheapest rust bucket he could find. In the spring of 1947, we moved to the farm, to Walter's parents' old house. Edna and Douglas Harris died of typhus back in 1927, and so we jumped off the bumpy life raft that was our former life and rushed into the unknown. Okay. What all do we have in the house? Or at least this room. Our belongings are in these suitcases. A whole human life contained in a few bags. We still ain't unpacked most of it. Birth certificate of John Edward Harris, date of birth June 6, 1946, gender male. Mother Loretta Lou Harris, father Walter Philip Harris. It was October 1945 when I got pregnant again. Doctor said I was too old. He said some weird phrase like elderly parturient or something. Apparently, with my medical history, neither me nor my baby stood a chance. I reckon it was just a miracle. 9 months later, I gave birth to a boy, Johnny Harris. But I'm getting ahead of myself again. Or maybe I'm going too far back. Long story short, I lost Johnny too. Jesus. Okay. Lots of radios around the house, but I guess that makes sense. Oh, the bird. Of all Walter's sins, his adultery was the least to concern me. Let's say his gambling affected my life in a much more serious way. His adultery was pretty obvious. Walter hadn't touched me in months. Can't say I was too upset by it, though. Nonetheless, I knew one thing for sure. That ginger bitch Margaret sure did love her onions. Oof. All right. Oh, what the? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Feels like I'm losing. Feels like I'm losing. It's like lots of alcohol, though. Okay. I have no idea what is going on. I guess maybe I have to knock out all these things before they reach the middle. Hello. Okay. This is the one time I wish I would have used the mouse. Get back. Okay, come on. Hurry up, do what you gotta do, get all the way back or pull these things apart, whatever. Okay, looks like I made it. I felt trapped. I was suffocating in this cramped farmer's paradise. I could feel the noose tightening around my neck. I went to the bank. So, can you state your profession, ma'am? Sure. I'm an ornithologist by trade, but for now, I just run the house mostly. Excuse me, how do you spell that? Ornithologist. A scientist, the kind who studies birds. I see. And how about the man of the house, ma'am? What does he do? I mean, he does rent out the land. Walter's a writer. Wait, Walter Harris? You mean the writer? The affair with the killer, the Black Tulip? I see you're a fan. No, not me, I'm afraid. My wife, though, why, she just adores his books. Who would have thought? Right here in our backyard. Anyway. Well, ma'am, I'm sorry to say this, but we can't give you a loan. Well, not to you, anyway. But why don't you bring your husband around next time? I'm sure we could figure something out. I was hoping not to get my husband involved. I see. It's me who needs the money, not him. In that case, ma'am, if you urgently need money, then what's stopping you from taking out that 30,000 and... What 30,000? Ah, well now, just a moment. He shuffles through his papers. Well. Yes. Oh. I beg your pardon, ma'am. That was my mistake. I just realized the 30,000 is in insurance. What insurance? What 30,000? He peers at a sheet of paper. Life insurance, ma'am. Silly of me to have missed it before. But it looks like Mr. Harris' publisher took out an insurance policy in his name. What the? Here, see for yourself. In the event of death or disappearance, yada, yada, yada. Oh, you can skip this part. The beneficiary will receive a lump sum payment of $30,000. Looks like a standard contract as insurance goes. Anywho, I must apologize again. I didn't mean to cause any confusion. No, thank you. You've been a big help. Glad to hear. In that case, I'll be waiting for you and Mr. Harris to drop on by. All the best, ma'am. Oh, and do allow me to remind you that all deposits and contributions are insured with us at... That clerk's words broke through his cracked, graceless lips and disappeared into thin air. $30,000. An incredible sum of money. It felt like the more I thought about it, the less I was able to comprehend how much money that really was. Walter. He had never said a word. Why not? I remember getting this strange feeling. It was weak and not all there yet, but I felt it on the edge of my mind all the same. The moment I tried to catch it and pay attention to it, I left the bank and the dry spring wind of the outside world dispelled that feeling as if it was never there to begin with. I must have parked over there. Oh, is this Margaret? Hate crimes, homicides, and kidnappings have nearly halved when compared to the last decade. I think it's safe to say that America is going through a new round of development, concluded the deputy prosecutor. Laura. Hey, Laura. Hello, Margaret. So good to see you. How long's it been since we last seen each other? Come to think of it, I ain't seen Walter around here much either. How's he doing anyway? Why don't you tell me, you lying ho... He's doing wonderful. Margot, hurry up. It's busier in a blind dog in a meat house in here. Break's over. Move those hips, girl. All right, I'm coming. Anyway, Loretta. Oh, the girls and I are going to see a show on Saturday. You should come join us. And I wanted to talk, Margot. Look, I'll stop by if I'm in the neighborhood. You don't mind, right? I gotta shoot. Margot, I'm keeping your tips. All right, I'm coming for Christ's sake. The ginger bitch. Oh man, some onion rings do sound good about right now. Fried onion rings. The best in town. Ah. I lied, of course. I ain't no ornithologist. Never been and never studied nowhere. Just a habitual lie I tell. I'm a working girl. I needed some way to survive when I moved to New York. I wanted to be a nurse but failed the exams. Twice. I washed the towels at diners, tried working as a waitress, tried working as a newspaper secretary, and believe it or not, even worked at a salon. Wouldn't say I enjoyed any of it, but work is work. I read an article about a female ornithologist once. She was on an expedition of some sorts. I liked it. I even bought The Birds of America. Ain't much of a bird lover though. Hard to love harbingers of disease. It was hotter than 6 shades of hell. I had the windows cracked all the way down and could feel the sun burning my skin through the wind chill. A swarm of thoughts swirled in my mind, so I didn't notice that I was running out of gas. This old bag of bolts chugged 30 gallons to the mile. But Lady Luck smiled on me for the first time that day, and a gas station appeared out of the blue. Its concrete face rose from the middle of a cornfield, all cracked and worn like the wrinkled face of some old woman. Funny thing was, I can't say I'd never seen that gas station before, even though this was the only road leading home. Kind of reminds me of certain parts of Alabama when you drive there. It's like one gas station on the way between certain parts, and you better fill up before you leave. Feels like I drank more during the Prohibition than I did my entire life. Ain't touched a drink since I was 32. With every day I spent living on this farm, I regret that decision more and more. Mm. The United States of America. All 40 of them available at a glance. 48, huh? Okay, got a brochure here. Boston. Afternoon, ma'am. How's the day treating you? Could be better. It's too hot today. You ain't wrong there, ma'am. Almost a hundred degrees out there. Could you fill me up for 3? Sure thing. Anything else I can get you? Uh, Probably not. If you allow me, ma'am, I may have just the cure for what ails you. You do? A new and improved rat poison. Even contains its own secret formula. This sucker will get rid of rats, mice, whatever's plaguing you. Smells like almonds, too. Guaranteed to work. All for only $1.99. I don't think that... Bah, you know what? You look like a diligent housewife, ma'am. Why don't you take a sample? On the house, just for you. Oh, well. I assure you, ma'am, you will not be disappointed. It's a wild thing to just give somebody. Just random ass rat poison. Surely this won't be used. Okay. Oh. Am I doing the right thing? I guess I was not. Maybe I need to wait until they get onto the page or the frame. Oh no. What in the blue hell is going on here? Chance. Anger. I saw hope as well. Fungal. Venom. Okay. So there's certain words I need to hit, but what words do I need to hit? Hmm. Maybe only the good ones? That's not one of them. Fungal isn't one. Venom probably isn't one. Hope is one. Fate was one. Ah, there we go. Chance. Okay. Ah. Hi, Walt. It's hotter than the devil's armpit outside. No kidding. Thought I was gonna melt. Ain't it a little early to be breaking out the wine? What are you smiling for? It's all done. What is? You mean you finished your book? Yup. But that's wonderful. Why didn't you? The publishers already gave me the green light. I sent them the initial chapters. I don't want to jinx anything before it's set in stone, but they're saying the folks from Metro Silver Mire are interested. Might even turn it into a motion picture, they said. Just imagine, starring Clark Gable. I thought he quit acting. And then Harry Cooper? Who cares? That's not the gosh darn point. Hollywood, Laura. You're right, I'm sorry. Oh, Walter, I'm so happy. Good for you. Good for us, sweetheart. Can the wine wait a little? I'll get to fixing us a real nice supper. How about you cook us up that steak you know I love? Honestly, didn't expect it. For a moment, it felt as though everything could change. It was a flash of hope. Yeah, some salt. Walter publishes his novel, and we return to New York, to our apartment on 12th Avenue, just as we've never left. And life goes back to normal again. Yeah, let's dice some vegetables. It's not a good job dicing vegetables, but still, he'd made promises before. He'd already found another woman before I could start unpacking my damn suitcase. He's gambled us into the ground when we were already dirt poor. Why should I think any of that'll stop in New York? No, something deep inside me, something strange had been triggered, and I couldn't stop it. Oh, at poison? Hey, how's it going? Ready? Coming right up. He's talking with his mouth full. This steak is delicious. Thank you. Last time I ate this good was back in the Big Apple. You've barely touched your... I ain't hungry. Well... I ran into Margaret today. Did you? He clears his throat. So, how was she? Fairer than when I last saw her, if you ask me. You think so? Not like I'm one to talk. I've certainly let myself go. But think about what it's like to be in her shoes, Lo. Poor girl's been all alone. Ever since Clarence bought that farm. It's gotta be hard for her. And you... He points his fork at Loretta. As a woman, ought to empathize with her a little more. And that's why you choose to soothe the grieving widow? What? What's that supposed to mean? You know exactly what that's supposed to mean. I already told you. It's over. You must think I'm dumber than a box of rocks. What are you trying to achieve here, huh? Why can't we just celebrate? Enjoy a nice supper. Like ordinary civilized folk. I'm fed up with your tricks, Walter. Fed up with you treating me like shit. Fed up with lingering in this godforsaken dump. With all the racists and whores. Nobody forced you to move out here, Loretta. Oh boy, sir, this isn't going in a good direction. Listen, I know you blame me for what happened to John. He slams his fist into the table. Nice fucking supper. You just couldn't help yourself, could you? Why'd you need to bring this shit up again? Why now? What is with you today? No, you're right. Let's just keep it bottled up inside. I'll hush. I'll be a good housewife. And you can keep fucking around with that ginger slut. Then everyone will be happy. Enough. I'm not listening to this shit anymore. And if you must know, I do blame you. Ah, finally. The brave man comes out and says it. I've read the police report. You're such a hypocrite. But Laura, I had no idea you could be so full of crap. I've read the... Walt? Murder. Mm, come on, you can do it. Yeah, maybe it wasn't a good idea to poison him. Walter looks like he's trying to say something, but only the sound of gurgling can be heard as he slowly chokes to death. Burn in hell, Walter. I must admit, I don't like it when people say honestly, or to tell you the truth. It always gives the impression that they've been shamelessly lying to you up until that point. But there's something transcendental about murder and something beyond our understanding, despite how regular and natural it seems. Otherwise, why else would anyone do it? I don't accuse a woman of being a liar when she doesn't know how to be honest with herself. Stillborn, like my first child, like a poet who speaks no languages, like a deaf, blind, and mute person in a world of sound, color, and signs. I won't reach the truth with words. They can't give it shape. There's one truth I know, though. Walter is dead. You don't like people, do you? No, I don't, actually. I didn't say that, but truth be told, I don't expect any good to come from them. This looks like a mask. Do you think people want to hurt you? I think we're wasting our time here. Why is that? Look, I know how this works. First, we look at some pictures together and have a nice little chat. Then tomorrow you dig into my brain with a metal rod. You're exaggerating. Leucotomies have alleviated suffering for a great many people. In your case, however, I doubt it will be required. I'd like to believe that. Let's continue, shall we? This looks like a vagina, yes. It's not a well. I don't think it looks like a rat. I'll just say a necklace. Interesting. What is? Your associative pattern. My husband calls them tricks. But it was he who brought you here, wasn't it? So pay attention. This doesn't look like really anything to me. Sure, eyes. Is something wrong? Yeah. These are just splotches. Ain't nothing to see in them. Whatever I do see's only my imagination. This ain't fair. I ain't done nothing wrong. Life isn't fair. At your age, it's high time you realize that. Oh, don't be so gloomy. How did that saying go? In Italy, under the rule of the Borgia, terror, murder, and bloodshed reigned. Yet it ended up giving birth to Michelangelo, Da Vinci, and the Renaissance. In Switzerland, brotherly love, democracy, and peace were established for 500 years. And do you know what they produced? The cuckoo clock. Okay. 'Tis a bent nail. I woke up with an awful pain, spreading through my whole body. It came in waves, like one blow after another. One eye was all swollen and watery. Felt like it was gonna burst. Hell, I wanted it to burst. Not that it'll help none. No, the pain was focused somewhere else. When I opened my eyes, first thing I saw was a crooked, rusty nail sticking out of my foot. Went right through my own skin. So I tugged it free. Oh God, this is gonna suck. Son of a bitch, I was ready to howl. Ready to scream at the top of my damn lungs. Best I could muster was a whimper, though. It was like the top of that metal nail was smiling up at me like some Cheshire cat. Okay, one more try. I've gotten a nail in my foot before. It sucks. It sucks. God, it sucks. Stay calm. Breathe. Come on, Lo. Focus. Holy fuck. Shit. Goddamn porch. Goddamn nail. Why couldn't you hammer it in like I asked? What the hell's wrong with you, Walter? Trying to make it easier for me to finish you off? Hell, why am I even asking you? Ain't like you ever knew which end of a hammer to use anyway. This is some wicked irony, all right. Oh Lord, I can't see. I can see rust stuck in the wound. Damn. Ugh, ain't no time to dwell on that now. All right, one more time. Again. Come on. Jesus. That is quite the nail. Not the size of the nail in my foot, but quite. Yeah, I think it was about half that size. And luckily I had on sandals, so it only went through the sandals and then kind of slightly went into my foot. So, not too bad. The gaping wound stared back at me. An awful blood-red gash. Last night felt like a bad dream, about to fade into memory. But still, my ripped up muddy dress, my aching leg, the puddle of my own vomit, they all suggested otherwise. Need to get rid of these reminders as soon as I can. I'm gonna be sick. Ugh. Don't think you want to walk straight forward. Leftovers from yesterday's supper. Yes, I know what vomit is. I should get this shovel out of the way. But I can't shake the feeling that I might need it later. Reminder of last night. Ah, what a mess. Clean it up. Man, if only cleaning was that easy. Nothing in here to interact with. Oh, my head. My leg hurts too. I saw some pills in the bathroom. Can't take this any longer. Ma'am, don't take too many. I'm pretty sure pills back in the day were far stronger than what we have now. Bingo. I knew you were here in here somewhere. They expired a long time ago too. Should I? Sure, take them anyway. What does it matter? Not like things can get any worse. No, they always can. Okay. Now what do I need to do? I need to clean up this vomit, of course. I ain't ready to go out yet. Need to change out of these clothes first. Okay. Could you at least step over the vomit? Let's see. Here? Yes. You don't want to take a shower first? Well, in this case, a bath, I guess, but I'm pretty sure you're not smelling great right now. Okay, guess not. Just gonna hop into some clothes smelling like fresh ass, but okay. Possibly blood, dirt, dust, everything else in between. That's better. Now to get rid of this dress. Who the hell could that be? Laura. Oh my god, are you gonna kill this woman too? You look like you've seen better days. What happened? Mind calling out Walter for me? What do you need him for? Walt and I were supposed to see each other today, but he never showed. When he didn't show up, I don't know how to say it, but If Arthur's good at anything, it's leaving women. Wait, you know about you and Walter? You think I'm blind, Margaret? I don't hold grudges. Don't worry. I don't hold grudges. Especially not against someone like you. Really? Margaret's face breaks into a silly smile. The affair was eating her up inside. But Loretta's words seemed to lift the heavy load from her heart. Still, Loretta couldn't help but think, if a few niceties was all it took, the load couldn't have been that heavy to begin with. There's no such thing as wrongdoing, Margaret. Only doing. Hand on my heart, I ain't go no clue where he's going. Got no clue. Good God. Look, I'm from the South. It is not this bad most of the time. I guess it depends on where you're at. This looks like this is Midwest, not necessarily the South, but I guess it could be Texas or something. I don't know. His damn suitcase ain't even here. You know, Walter. Maybe he got himself in high water again, or maybe he just ran off and left us both behind. Who can tell? Laura, I don't know what to say. I'd best get going. Oh, I wanted to kill her. Well, that could have gone better. Probably still could have gone worse, though. At the very least, I bought myself some time. Time to come to my senses, consider, think. Margaret may not be all that smart, but she knows how to play dirty. Bitch is up to no good, plain and simple. Just a matter of time now. All right, now for the manuscript. It ought to be in the study. What in the Sam Hill? Sounds like it's coming from the kitchen. The sink? Or the poison? Yeah, hide that. Leaves a pleasant almond scent. He wasn't lying. But yeah, what's that sound? A storm destroyed several power lines yesterday. Dozens were left without power. Authorities are reminding citizens to beware of looters. In other news. Okay. Check the basement. Why is it so dark in here? My foot hurts. Where's that sound coming from? Where's the lamp? It smells wretched as all get out down here. Pipes are making weird noises again. This ain't the first time. Walter would usually take care of it. Today just ain't my day. Great. Remove the fabric. Portrait of Walter's mother, Edna. It's covered in dust. Glass jar. A tag on the jar says chicory root. It's a decent coffee substitute when you're out of money. Okay. Unsettling hole, a steel bar. Give it a whack. Phew. That should do it. Should it? Unsettling hole. I don't know where this hole comes from or where it leads, but I ain't in any hurry to find out. All right, let's get away from the creepy basement. Why are you zooming into the creepy basement? Relax, Laura. It's just your imagination is all. Okay. It's gonna turn into the telltale heart or something. Ain't no one worth calling. What would you like to do now? You still don't want to clean up that vomit? Because it's still there. Maybe there's something. Oh, that's right. She wanted to get the manuscript. So, okay. And it should be in his study, but I mean, do you know the password? I rarely stepped foot into Walter's study. Everything here just as it was yesterday. An open bottle of bourbon and that old beat up typewriter. Sheets of paper tied with a ribbon lie next to it. Chapters of Straw Bull. The rest of the manuscript should be in the safe. An open envelope lay next to it. It's an informal letter, a letter on official looking paper, certified by a secretary. Dear Mr. Harris, Walter, the bull is positively sensational. Although I do believe we should give the title some consideration, I can say without a shadow of doubt that this is your best work yet. I'm only halfway through reading it. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I already spoke to Thompson at MCM, and they want to talk. I'm very glad that you're back in business, my friend. Send me the rest as soon as it's ready. The contracts are drafted. There's just a couple of formalities left. P.S. I already ordered the cover design. You're going to love them. Sincerely, Jerry. Stamp Gerald Foster Schaefer, Atlantic Press Publishing House. Okay. They were waiting. Details had been negotiated. Contracts signed. They just needed a little push, was all. I made myself comfortable in the leather desk chair, adjusted the carriage, and began typing. Dear Mr. Schaefer, I regret to inform you that my husband, Walter Harris, has gone missing. It's possible something may have happened to him, or perhaps he simply ran out on his love-deprived wife. His reasoning is beyond me. I'm writing because you were interested in Walter's latest manuscript, Straw Bull. By coincidence, the manuscript currently sits in my possession, the original. There are no copies. Mr. Schaefer, I assume that you are a busy man, so I'll cut to the chase. As far as I know, your company has taken out a life insurance policy on Walter. Due to this extraordinary development, I must ask that you send a check with the amount applicable in the event of his passing if you wish to see this manuscript in its entirety. Despite my disagreements with Walter, I'm convinced that readers and fans of his talent should not be deprived of his latest masterpiece. I will send the manuscript the day the check is received, as I understand that it rightfully belongs to you and your firm, which has done so much for our family. Yours faithfully, Loretta Lou Harris. Ma'am, this letter sounds suspicious as fuck. But sure, by all means, send it. All done. Now I just gotta wait. The pain in my leg was getting worse. So on my way to the post office, I decided to stop at the gas station again. But something wasn't right. The gas station looked different that day. Kind of like something was missing. In that same vein, I was seeing everything in a brand new light. Kind of like looking through a cracked microscope glass or something. Although I ain't ever looked through a microscope in my entire life. Sure. Please don't do that. Can I do it again? I can't do it again? Crap. Is there anything else for me to see around here? No, just the attendant. Ma'am? Got any painkillers? Say, you sell painkillers here? Or any kind of medicine? No, ma'am, we do not. This ain't no drugstore. Then I'll just take the cheapest bottle of whiskey you got. Better make that 2 bottles, actually. Okay. My name is William Henry Carter. I've been this county sheriff for the last 3 years. Early in the morning of August 12th, 1947, I got a call from the Harris farm. Miss Harris claimed that her husband, Mr. Harris, had gone missing. Jesus, you look rough. Kind of look like the guy from Stranger Things, too. How old is Walter, ma'am? 45. And how long have the two of you been married? 16 years. Has he, The sheriff chokes back the urge to vomit. For the sake of decency, Loretta pretends not to notice. Pardon me, has Walter gone missing before? No. This would be the first time. Hot damn. The hangovers get worse every time. Feels like my head's about to explode. Well, you did throw back 2 full bottles by yourself. What did you expect? Not 1 bottle? Not a bottle and a half? 2 fucking bottles, Bill. I wonder if she can smell the booze on my breath. What am I saying? Of course she does, jackass. Women always smell this shit. You're in deep trouble now, Bill. This is what you focus on right now, sir? When was the last time you saw Walter? Yesterday morning. I thought he'd gone to the city at first, but the car was still parked by the house. This evening rolls around and he still ain't back, so I called you today. It's all clear as day. Or is it? Something ain't right. You really need this right now. You better sleep it off in the car. Give it a couple hours at least. There's always the hair of the dog. Nah, I'll just grab a bowl of soup or something. But now ain't the time for pondering soup. What are you staring at me like that for, sweetheart? You think finding a missing person's a piece of cake? Expect me to pull him out of my hat or something? As if you could stand to carry a couple of city slickers around. Only thing you're good for, Bill, is lugging around a hip flask. Well, to hell with all that. Okay. A stain. Can't quite tell what it was. This house has seen better days, that's for sure. Got an odd smell to it, too. Better not puke in front of her. Catch you by surprise there, sunshine? This ain't a house, it's a shack. That must be why the guy took off. But look who's talking. You live in a trailer, you jackass. You used to be a pilot, a hero. Where's all the heroics now, Billy boy? Drowned in hooch is where they are. Ugh, maybe I should ask her for a painkiller. Nah, better not. Okay. Loretta's standing there, arms folded, staring you down like she's fixing to ask you a question, or simply challenge your authority. What a dish, though. Younger than you. But not by much, I reckon. And she's got a great ass to boot. So, a writer, huh? Can you say you're surprised, Bill? A loser like you could never score a dame like her. Got a queer look in her eyes, though. Figures considering her man just took off. Poor gal. Was Walter acting suspicious before his disappearance? Did he do anything unusual before he disappeared? No, sir. Nothing that comes to mind. Do your children live with you? I ain't got no children. No children. No husband. No job. If you're not careful, you'll be 3 for 3 yourself. You dumb drunk. Got no kids, nor any wife to speak of, neither. What about Maggie, though? Nah, Maggie's a different type of broad. All right, cowboy, strain your brain. Just a couple more questions, then we can wrap up this sideshow. Did Walter have any health conditions? You trying to imply he's crazy? Well, no, sir. My husband's in his right mind. Was he in the military? Yeah, he was. But he never did like talking about it. Said he spent 2 years on a boat, somewhere out in the Philippines writing propaganda. At least, that's my understanding of it. You know, pamphlets about Hitler, Hirohito, and the like. I chose not to pry any deeper than that. Let's see. Study. So this is Walter's study. Yeah, he spends most of his day here. The sheriff sniffs. Has anything changed since he went missing? Hard to say. What about family? My family? No, ma'am, your husband's. Ah, well. He has a sister over in New York City. Can't say we've been all that close. Don't suppose you have her number? Afraid I do not. The sheriff's mouth curves into a deep frown. May I ask what happened to your leg? Well, I just scratched it is all. I caught it on a nail, but it ain't nothing serious. Ouch. You might want to go see a doctor about that anyway, ma'am. Tetanus is no laughing matter. Lots of folks die from it. I'll get right on that, Sheriff. Did Walter take anything with him when he left? A photo or maybe a postcard? Do you know if anything's missing from the safe? Oh no. Walter keeps his manuscripts in there. He didn't take those with him? I ain't sure. Don't know the combination. Did Walter keep up any extensive correspondence with anyone? Any that you're aware of, at least? Or maybe someone you just learned of recently? Well, Walter spoke with his publisher, of course. Probably to some other writers as well. And his old war buddies, most likely. Mind if I take a look at the letter? This one? Oh, stick the letter opener in his throat? Pass him an envelope. What's another murder? That's probably the reason why. Quick with the gun. Well, that was a dumb mistake. The sheriff saw it coming clear as day. Before the beautiful letter opener that Walter had thoughtfully brought back from the Philippines could get anywhere near the drunk's throat, he shot 2 bullets through the back of my skull. My last thought, right before my brains were smeared across the wall, was about how much I hated that awful gaudy wallpaper. And I mean hate it. Anyway, the Crystal Castle has shattered, and the sands of times are spilling out. I'm coming, Walter. Okay, so let's not do that. Let's go ahead and skip through this stuff. Yeah, we'll go with the scratched again. But I'm guessing she is gonna kill him, which that's wild if you're gonna kill a sheriff. Like, come on. I'd rather read them myself if you don't mind. I'm afraid these are personal. It'd be better if I read them myself. By all means, but do read them carefully. Might offer you some clarity. Yard. All right, Miss Harris, I'll be frank. The chances of us finding Walter are pretty slim. It's more likely that he'll reappear by himself when he's ready. I'll have to admit this sort of thing happens from time to time. Sometimes folk just get a little overwhelmed. They run away from debts, creditors, wives, without realizing they can ever run away from themselves. They can't ever run away from themselves. Well, I appreciate your wisdom, Sheriff. But what happens now? I'll get to contacting the local precincts in the meantime. Then the nearest hospitals, the morgue. It's a big country. Your husband could be anywhere, ma'am. Forgive me, I know this is a difficult subject, but I have to ask. Did you and Walt have any fights before he went missing? I wouldn't say so, but things have been pretty rocky lately. I wouldn't say so. You know, I think Walter and I might have gone to the same school. Only got one school around here, so it ain't all that surprising. Was there anyone else he was in contact with around here? Any friends or neighbors? Enemies even? Someone I could talk to? No, sir. At least not that I'm aware of. Does that thing still work, by the way? What? The well behind you there? Oh, no. Nah, it's all dried up now. Mind if I take a look? Sure is dark. I wonder how deep it goes. You know, if you ain't using it, then that'll be grounds for getting fined. You better ask someone to board a... Wait, what's that? Oh, shit. Is that a rat? Sure is a meaty one. Look at that. He's trying to climb his way out. That fella's braver than all get out. Suckers breed faster than rabbits, so I'd recommend buying some rat poison or something. Probably got yourself a right nest down there. You got anyone around that can help you, ma'am? I can send my boys to you if you don't. They'll board it up for you in no time. Thank you, Sheriff. I can handle it myself. Jesus. The hell is this? Mind if I smoke? Go right ahead. This is a mistake in my opinion. You think so? Life's dealt me a bad hand. That or I just ain't been playing them right. I don't know. Everybody has problems. It's all about how we respond to them. Don't give me that. I shouldn't need to remind you the war is over. Men shot each other, stabbed each other, killed each other. And for what? Men aren't the only ones who fight in wars. No, but it's the man who's starting them. Have you ever heard of the Chinese ruler Wu Zetian? Should I? There's no such thing as wrongdoing, Loretta. Only doing. Anyway, how are you feeling in general? Honestly, pretty good. We're going to confirm that now. Please concentrate. Okay. I feel like the world has changed too fast, and I don't feel safe. I mean, I don't know what I mean anymore. Let's continue. Key? Scissors. Looks like a rat is up under there. Go on. It's not that one. Guess that one. Don't let what I did fool you. I'm a good person. Well, an ordinary person. But people sure love labeling things. Smart folk always have the simple answers. It's so easy to trip yourself up once. Way easier than you'd think. Easier than a round of gin rummy. Or getting your hands on a pair of nylon stockings. It's very convenient too. What do you mean by that? Well, it's tempting to commit an unforgivable act, then revel in self-pity, making excuses for the rest of your life. Now, don't you start with that. Have you ever heard the saying, let sleeping dogs lie? I think that's exactly what you choose not to do. Okay. Puzzle of sorts. Oh no, I actually have to put this together. This might take a second. So what is that, like right there? This is probably right around here. Oh wait, I didn't mean to. Oh, these are multiples. What the hell? All right, this is gonna take a second. I'll be back. All right, all done. A call from New York for Miss Harris, Mr. Harris. Connect us. You think you can blackmail us, Toots? Toots. Blackmail? Well, sure, if that's what you want to call it. But since I'm the one who owns the manuscript, I think it'd be more appropriate to call it reimbursement. Or maybe compensation. For the presumed widow of a talented writer. You could even print that on the dust jacket. Where's Harris? Listen here, lady. Nobody messes with Jerry Schaefer. I hung up. But he'll call again. Make no mistake. People like Schaefer never miss an opportunity for profit, even if it means exchanging sweet pleasantries for threats. But that still leaves me with a problem. The safe combination. I searched the whole damn house for a clue, a note, anything. But it looks like old Walter. Old fuddy-duddy Walter, who by supper would always have forgotten what he ate for breakfast, or sometimes mixed up his left for right. That same lying bastard Walter only ever kept the combination in that good-for-nothing brain of his. I tried his birthday, our wedding anniversary, his mother's birthday, and even the date of his first publication. Nothing worked. You must have written the combination down somewhere, Walter. You're a writer. You wrote everything down. Maybe it's in one of his books. Nothing interesting here except for a cigar club? I ain't never seen Walter smoke a cigar. There's an address on it. 11 Rainwood Street. Must be in the city. I could pay a visit. When I get the time, of course. Ticket stubs, scribbled papers, a lighter. Horse racing. Only Walter could find a racetrack out in the middle of nowhere. Crime and Punishment. Never heard of it. There's a key hidden in the book. It ought to open one of the doors in this house. No clue which one, though. Maybe Walt's parents' bedroom? I mean, that was the one. Let's see. Letter from Kelly. Hey, Daddy. How are you doing? How's Laura? I hope y'all are doing okay. I'm doing just fine. Sorry it took me so long to write you back. Things have been pretty crazy recently. You know how it is. Did you finish your novel? I thought you did. You've been working on it for so long now. Daddy, I've got some big news I want to talk about. I don't know when you'll get this letter, though. Anyway, Mickey and I are going to come visit, so let's talk in person. Swack. Love you. Kelly. Okay. Let's see. Letter from Walter's publisher. Okay, yeah, we already read that, so no need. The key from the book fits. Heavens to... What's that smell? I gotta open a window or something. Okay. Is that a cage? A cage. It's empty. Apparently Walter's parents kept a bird of some kind. Empty. The suitcase is bound tightly with twine. I can't break through it with my bare hands. Old newspapers. Discharged man shoots parents. Guggenheim warehouse fire. Ransom paid, but child not found. Olsen family offer reward. I remember this case. Someone kidnapped the daughter of some hotty-toddy oil tycoon. Okay, I'm going to use the scissors on this. A strange photograph. Look closer. There's a key here. It looks like the kind used to open a safety deposit box. But where? Somewhere in the city? What the hell, Walter? What else were you hiding from me? The day promised to be eventful. And not just because of the secrets of Walter's past. I still needed to open that goddamn safe. But I was plumb out of ideas. I considered throwing it out the window. But there was no way that thing was gonna budge. I won't get that check without the manuscript. Is there some way to just airmail the whole safe to Schaefer? I need to come up with something and fast. So I decided to head into the city. Okay, so I can go to the hardware store, the bus depot, or address from the matchbook. I guess we could just go left to right. Then again, maybe I should go to the address from the matchbook. Hmm? What can I get you? Sorry to bother you. I'm looking for the Cooper Cigar Club. Is this the place? What, can't you read? Look at the sign, lady. This is a bar. We don't sell cigars here, only drinks. So I suggest you either order one or take a hike. All right. Nice asshole there. I quit smoking a long time ago, though I've been regretting it more and more lately. Excuse me. Hmm? Don't suppose you know where I can find the Copa Cigar Club? Cigar Club? Ah, you're looking at it, babe. But it was shut down a year, maybe 2 years ago. All's left of it now is this shithole. The bartender looks over, displeased. Where do you think you are? The Ritz or something? The bartender looks away, even more displeased. A year or two? I was a pretty dame like you looking for a cigar club anyway. Here, why don't I buy you a drink instead? Thanks, but I'm in a hurry. Pfft, of course you are. I don't understand. This ain't making any sense. Let me take another look at that matchbox. The address is right. There's no way these matches are 2 years old. Hey, there's a phone number on the other side. Was this written with a ballpoint pen? Must be recent then. How the hell did I miss this? I could call the number, but what good will that do? If the club really did close a couple of years ago, maybe that loser got it wrong? I should find a phone. Mind if I use your phone? The bartender sighs heavily. It's out back by the John. Okay. That dog sure is scary looking. Well, at least it ain't playing poker. So I can't go out that way, so I have to go this way. Okay, so where are we going now? Oh, it's the hardware store. Ma'am, I already told you. To open a safe, and I mean any safe, though I can't say for sure which one you have, an old one. Well, old or new, you'll need either a very good locksmith or a very good thief. Precisely. And I'm afraid I'm neither. All I sell is doorknobs and fasteners, ma'am. What a waste of time. Well, obviously. Back to the bar. Maybe I can use the phone. I didn't actually mean to go all the way out like this, but it didn't seem like I could go any further. So let's see. Smell like piss in here. And Lord knows what else. This is the creepiest bathroom. Call the number on the matchbox. Yeah. Bzz. It's you. I know who you are. You shouldn't have dialed this number. Who are you? Do I know you? We'll be seeing each other soon. Okay. Well, this is off to a great start. If this key really belongs to the bus depot, then it must open one of the lockers here. Buy U.S. savings bonds and stamps. Some drunk's falling asleep right next to the locker I need to get into. Excuse me, could you move a little? Of course, that's not gonna work. The bum gurgles something unintelligible. Oh, that's just perfect. How do I get rid of him now? He reeks of booze. Maybe a fresh bottle will get him to move. Guessing I don't have any. Do I need to go back to the bar? You can't just kick the guy? I'm guessing that's also the reason why the bar was still available. A bottle of liquor, please. Cheapest you got. Oh ho, has the lady finally decided to have some fun? Don't ask. Well, you have a lovely evening. Okay. Now back to the bus depot. I do miss playing these point and click games, kind of like this, because one of my favorite ones was the cat lady. It's been a while since I played that series. I know there was supposed to be a sequel to that, Lorelei, but maybe I should play those on the channel. So I think it's Burnhouse Lane, the cat lady, and then Lorelei. Hey pal, got a bottle of something you might like. Look, just move over, would you? Thank God that worked. There's some kind of parcel here. I don't get it, Walt. What does all this mean? I should wait till I get home to open it. What the? Hey, who the hell are you? Then said he unto me, prophecy into the wind, prophecy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come from the four winds, O breath, and breath upon these slain, that they may live. Okay, I'm gonna go. On my way home, I got to thinking, maybe I just made a mistake. The man on the other end of that wire could have been anyone. An old friend, a comrade in arms, or some other failed writer. It was amazing how after Walter's death, I was starting to learn so much about him. Way more than what I knew of him when he was still alive. Things that were obviously private. Things he didn't want to share with his own wife. Then suddenly, the engine overheated. Goddamn bucket of bolts. I used to always want one of those cars. Lord. What do I do to deserve this? I can think of at least one thing. Who am I kidding? You know perfectly well, Loretta. So I walked. Good thing the house was only half a mile away. Yeah, it's not too far. I noticed the luxurious white car right away, parked by my front porch. I'd never seen a car quite like it. Some old man with a cane was standing next to it, and something deep in my gut told me nothing good was gonna come from this meeting. Okay. Can I help you? Go call out your husband, sweetheart. I'd like to speak to the property owner. I'm the property owner. Ah, well, that explains it. What do you need all this land for anyway? Who are you exactly? Name's Peter Solomon Morgan Jr. Jesus, sir, you have like 3 first names? I definitely don't trust you. But y'all can call me Mr. Morgan. Like Arthur Morgan. I own the land down southeast of here, which means I have the misfortune of being your neighbor. What's that supposed to mean? Come take a look. See this? The whole lot's rotten. Ain't even worth feeding to the livestock. Thank you kindly for showing me some dirt, but I fail to see how this has anything to do with me. Fail to see, do you? Morgan's old face turns purple with anger. 50 acres of fertile land, reduced to nothing but horse shit. My sincere congratulations. So what? And that has what to do with me? I hired a specialist. Through his investigating, he concluded that drainage installed on your property is wrecking my crops. I was looking to have a conversation with the real property owner. You know, resolve the issue peaceful like. But I guess that just ain't on the cards. I don't give a damn about your land, old timer. Listen hard, you goddamn Okie. Let go of me, you asshole. If Phillips or someone else is paying you to pull this shit, or this is your own harebrained attempt at sabotage, Lord help me. I'll drag your ass to the muck myself if I have to, you hear me? Fuck off, pig. What's going on here? Howdy, Bill. You doing all right there, Miss Harris? Yeah. Mr. Morgan was just leaving. Mr. Morgan huffs and hauls. Yeah, I'm going, but this ain't over. I'll be seeing you in court, Miss Harris. Whatever, you old fart. And okay? I saw your car out there on the road. Figured I'd come to see if everything's okay. What was old Bill wanting? Wish I knew, Sheriff. Wish I knew. Morgan's grip was surprisingly strong for an old man and left a bruise. The sheriff made himself scarce before long. He came asking the same questions, but he had them written down in a notebook this time, written down in a notebook, and didn't reek of booze. Still, I don't think he suspects me. He seems more focused on Walter's past. He's an ornery one. That old donkey, I'll say. I'll learn to keep his hands to himself. Got any news on Walter, Sheriff? Actually, yes. I was talking to New York and found out something, rather strange. Tell me. You ever heard of an Irving Wallace? Nope, doesn't ring any bells. Well, it sounds like Walter and Irving did time together. Walter did time? No way. That's what I thought. But when? Why? In the early 20s, and I don't know why. There ain't much left from the pre-war archives. Walter obviously used this to his benefit and kept his little vacation a secret. This is more than just a secret. Don't get me wrong, ma'am. Everyone makes mistakes. As far as I can tell, Walter was a dignified man. Wish I could say the same about that Wallace character, though. Who is he? He made a killing during the Prohibition, but his fortune wasn't big enough to attract unnecessary attention. Then he got his business legalized and went into publishing. Even bought a stake in a local newspaper. I'm guessing that's the newspaper that old buddy worked for. Either way, he's bad news. But no charges have been brought against him yet. The strange thing is, well, my guess is Walter and Irving have stayed in touch to this day. I don't mean to scare you, ma'am, but Wallace might be connected to your husband's disappearance. What's in the box, by the way? It's a parcel from my brother in Oakland. Thought it might be from Walter. Anyway, ma'am, I'll keep you informed. Let me know if anything happens in the meantime. Like what, Sheriff? People like Wallace are extremely dangerous. So I'd like to ask you to stay vigilant till we figure this all out. Do take care now. What have you been up to, Walt? I must admit Morgan's visit came as something of a surprise. I had no idea what that old man wanted with me. Walter was the one who handled the land, not me. Any knowledge I might have had was extremely vague. I could probably figure it out if I really put my mind to it. But on the other hand, who the hell cares? I'll be long gone the minute I get that check. I'll never have to see this house, this land, or Morgan ever again. I wasn't sure what to do next. Ask about property boundary, leave it to chance. Let's ask about the property boundary. So, Miss Harris, what can I help you with? I'm just looking to learn about the extent of my property. and where the border between my land and Mr. Morgan's lies. Alrighty, if you'll kindly take a look right here, this is your property. This this is the property that, as I understand it, belongs to the bank. It's all ours? If the paperwork's anything to go by, then yes. Now here's where your property ends and Mr. Morgan's begins, as well as here, 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 and here. I don't need another set of plans to. I get the idea. So Mr. Morgan's rolling in money. You could say that. Don't tell me y'all are at odds about something. Well, oh, Miss Harris, you'd be better off giving him what he wants. You know, bargain a little, for decency's sake. But come to an agreement nonetheless. Believe me, it's pointless going to court with people like him. I appreciate the advice. My pleasure. Oh, can I ask one last thing? Is it possible there may be some drainage under my property that leads to Morgan's, which in some way unknown to me might be affecting his crops? That's hard to tell, Miss Harris. It'll depend on the history of the site. What was standing there before, groundwater lines, previous owners and such. I can try and look it up for you if you like. The records must be in the archive somewhere. So long as it ain't any trouble. Not at all, ma'am. It's my job. Just leave me a telephone number, and I'll get in touch as soon as I find anything. I didn't think it really mattered at first, but at night, for some reason, I started to feel like something around me had changed. It was small, almost invisible. I began to wander through that run-down old house, finding my way into corners I didn't even know existed. And then Kelly arrived. I forgot to mention, Walter had a daughter from his previous marriage. That's what I was really kind of confused about there when I was reading that note, because it sounded like he had another child, but okay. Kelly. As she'd promised in her letter, Kelly came up with her boyfriend, Mickey. Now, I'd only met Kelly a couple of times. First time was when she was still a little girl. She was living with her mama somewhere in New Jersey. Terrible place. But then her mama succumbed to skeletal tuberculosis and passed away. Got no idea where Kelly found that joker Mickey. It was easy to tell from just a glance that he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Now, Kelly was a fine enough girl, pretty as a peach. She had thick brown hair, big old doe eyes, a healthy tan, big hips, and a nice behind. Imagine the vulgarity of Mae West in a play by Karl Heinrich Ulrichs. Mickey's actually short for Michelangelo. He's some Italian kid from Jersey. At just 23 or maybe 24 years old, he was big enough to fill a doorway. And I mean, he was huge. Black hair all shiny with either grease or brilliantine. Muscles bulging under his copper skin. I had no idea what he did for a living. I think maybe he served in the Navy before getting kicked out. Either way, it didn't seem like things were going well for either of them. Like any young girl whose daddy walks out on the family, I think it's safe to assume Kelly despised her father. So why would a girl abandoned by her daddy drag her boyfriend across the country to see him? Folks on the outside looking in just wouldn't understand, but I did. Oh, I knew right from the start. Where's Daddy? Since they were too tired from the road, I was able to stall them with a dumb lie. At that point, all they wanted was to bathe and get some sleep. So I used the time to get my story straight. Your father abandoned me too, hon. Gathered his belongings and took off like the wind. The plan was to appeal to the sympathy of a fellow woman by drawing comparisons to Kelly's mother and squeezing any drop of sentimentality out of her that I could. But I knew it was never going to work. To Kelly, I'll always be the bitch who ruined her parents' marriage. Heck, she probably blames me for her mother's passing, and I can't really fault her for that. I put them up in the guest bedroom. In a room that Douglas Harris had once used separately from his wife, his granddaughter now slept with Mickey. Now that they were actually sleeping out in the hallway in the stillness of the night, I could hear Kelly breathing, along with her not so muffled sighs. The creaking of old floorboards and iron bed springs that had long forgotten the warmth of human bodies, bouncing to the beat of Mickey's bestial momentum. Truth be told, I felt myself blushing something awful, until finally it all quieted down, and I tried to get to sleep. All right, I am going to go ahead and stop it here, and then in the next episode, we'll pick up with this, what appears to be a baby carriage. So I'm not sure which direction this is going to go or how many bodies I'm going to rack up by the end, but it's getting intriguing. So if you like the video, like the video. If you'd like to see more content like this, subscribe. I have a lot of things on the channel, and I will have many other things in the future. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave it in the comment section, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.